That got your attention, didn't it? And also hurt my hand. Right, West Ham on Saturday. Firstly, let's address, we lost 5-3 to Leicester City. The newspapers, pundits, former players, everybody seems to have lost their mind. Adam, do we need to have any genuine concerns about what is happening at Manchester United?
No, wow, I'm concerned about the defence, but overall, I haven't got any concerns about Manchester United and our future. I mean, you know, the papers will have their fun. There's no Sir Alex Ferguson around. They're not scared of him anymore. So, you know, they're going to start having their fun when Manchester United lose, and we'll see that until Louis van Gaal gets control of them. But I mean, I'm not too concerned. I mean, our defence, we know we need to look at that, and defensively, our shape needs to be worked on, our positioning play, and all of that. I thought Blind, he had a cracking debut, and I thought he went a little bit missing against Leicester City in the second half. Cambiasso kind of overtook him a little bit, so we need to work on that side of things. But I'm not overly worried. It was just a freak of a result, wasn't it?
Yeah, Carl, Adam touched the defence then. Any concerns other than the defence, or real concerns about the defence?
Yeah, the concerns about the defence that I have is they all kind of at points they look naive in the game. I know it's easy to say when you lose a two-goal lead twice throughout the match, but it seemed as if every player there, every defender, you've got Johnny Evans there, Rojo, Raphael, they was all looking for another senior defender. They're always looking for that leader, someone who's played maybe 200, 300 games and got that experience under the belt. It's just not there, is it, at the moment?
No, you're right. Stephen Howson, we've got the same initials, but do you have any concerns?
I'm not going to agree, because that's what I do. So I'm going to say, yes, we do have a little bit of a concern. But we haven't played our, on paper, best defence, which is Rojo and Jones and Shaw. We've not seen that line up yet with Raphael at right back. So I'm going to reserve judgment on the defence, knowing that we're playing Tyler Blackett, who might be the best player in the world, but he's only got 5 Premier League games experience. And it's a joke that people are talking about him being called up for England so far. It shows how poor England are.
Hassan. You said Rojo's in our strongest back four.
Well, I think he's been signed. I think he's been signed to play as a first-choice centre-half.
Do you really think he's good enough? Do you think he's better than Jones and Evans at centre-back too?
I think he's said he's been signed to play centre-half.
I don't know. I don't think he's...
I'm going to interrupt you all. Just before we move on to the next point, talking about centre-halves and stuff and Rojo, do you honestly think we'll ever see the likes of Evans and Jones form a successful partnership, or even Rojo and one of those players form a successful partnership, because they cannot stay fit?
Not to the level of Rio and Vidic, no, I don't think so.
Carl, what do you think?
Ferguson's come out this week, and said Evans and Chris Smalling's time will come. I mean, I thought it would have been here by now. I'm sick of waiting. I don't think they will, especially not like Vidic and Rio. I don't think they got a chance with that.
No. Okay.
Someone's going to come in January, aren't they?
Quite possibly. Let's move on. Lots of talk about Robin van Persie. People discuss Mata and Rooney and who should fill the 10 role, and if one of those players has to drop out. A lot of people would rather Robin van Persie wasn't in the side. Adam, do you think Van Persie should still be playing, or do you think he won us the league a couple of years ago, he's done?
Sorry, I didn't hear the last bit of your question. Sorry, Sam.
Do you feel like he's peaked and that his performance a few years ago when he helped us win the league was enough and that's it, we don't need him anymore?
I don't think so, no. I still think Robin van Persie has a lot to offer the club, an awful lot to offer us. He's a fantastic player, but it concerns over his fitness and his injuries. Do I think he should be starting? On paper, I'd say yes. As our striker, he's one of our best 2 strikers. You know who isn't, who I'm not going to say is one of those 2. But Rooney's our captain now. And it seems like he has to play. And it seems like Mata's going to lose out because of that. And I don't think that should happen. We're missing out on that link-up play between Mata, Herrera and Di Maria. Sorry to go off the question. I do think Robbie van Persie does have a lot to offer us. But I do think he should maybe be the one to be cut out rather than Mata.
Okay, Carl, where do you stand on RVP?
I agree. I think I'd like to see Mata in there with Rooney and Falcao up front. Louis van Gaal's come out and said, obviously Rooney's a captain, so he's not going anywhere. And I think I'd like to see Falcao start a little bit more. He showed in glimpses at the Leicester City game that there was some really world-class talent there. And I think RVP's struggling a little bit. There is definitely something he's struggling with.
Is it interesting what Louis van Gaal said about Rooney, Van Persie and Falcao, in the sense that he doesn't think Rooney's his best option up front as one of the strikers, and that he does need to drop deep? I hated to hear that as well. I mean, Rooney's our captain, but he's one of these typical guys that thinks screaming, shouting at the top of your lungs is leading. It's not the case. He made a big error at the weekend. He lost the ball, and then he started screaming at defenders that can't even understand him, probably. Just a joke, innit?
Right, Stephen, where do you stand on Robin van Persie? Would you start him against West Ham?
No, I wouldn't. I think Van Persie started last weekend because I think this is maybe an insight in. I know I'm second guessing this big time here, but I think this is an insight into Van Gaal's man management. If you drop Robin van Persie once you've just signed all these new players, while he is going through this slump in form, then his confidence is going to go through the ground. You've got Mata who's on fire. Now you can put an arm around Mata and go, I'm sticking you on the bench because you're going to come on and see us the game out at weekend. Now that didn't happen. But he starts Van Persie. Van Persie knows that he's still wanted and still got something to offer to this team. And Van Gaal has got him in his plans. If he drops him, then that could go all out the window and we could lose what is potentially a good player. Now, he doesn't deserve another start on the back of this. I think he can safely say to Robin, look, I think you probably need a rest. Mata plays, Rooney plays, and Falcao being the focal point of the attack. And I think that's how we're going to do it this weekend.
Okay, Stephen, tell us how we are going to do it. What's your team?
My team is De Gea in net. We've only got 4 fit defenders, so that's who's playing. Raphael, Smalling, Rojo and Shaw. And then Daley Blind in front, Herrera, Di Maria, Mata, Falcao, Rooney. Now, before everyone jumps in, especially him in the corner, what I'm going to say is I think we need to be playing as settled an 11 as possible. Because we've got so many new players, because we've got so many nationalities, and because it's a new team and it's a new system, the best thing that we can do as a team is to play the same or as close to the same 11, the same formation, everything as we can. Changing it and trying to keep it fresh, there's no point in us doing that. So that's why I've gone for all intents and purposes, the same team. And I know Shaw's new coming into that, and you're moving Rojo to centre-half. But essentially, all of those players have played together more or less, and defence picks itself.
All right, cheers, Stephen. Carl, what do you think?
I've gone with exactly the same team as you read it out there, and that is exactly how I've got it down. I think a bit of consistency would help, but we've got to remember that we're in the experimental stage still. You forget that Louis van Gaal's still in that experimental stage, and he said it'll take a while for everyone to gel. And I think that bit of consistency, especially with a back 4 and a keeper, they need that to know where people are telepathically, sort of thing, as we said last week. So, yeah, I think that's what the best formation that we've got.
Okay, Mac, in our team picks, you wouldn't play Smalling, you put Blind at centre-back. What were you thinking?
I forgot about Smalling. Easy mistake to make because he wasn't there against Leicester second half, was he?
Oh, take a bit of that, Chris Smalling. That's the Mac attack.
Just put water where it burns.
Smalling.
Okay, right, let's talk about West Ham. Adam, who's going to do the damage for them?
Why are you asking him? He's just Googling it now.
Stephen.
What?
You tell us then.
Bail me out, Stephen.
Right, who's left them then? Right, you've basically got Noble and Downing are basically underpinning everything that they do. Sarko's look pretty decent, and I'm tempted to say Valencia's look decent, but he's not really. He's not all that. He's a very, very average player that scored a couple of goals.
A bit like our Valencia then, isn't it?
Goal, I think. Yeah, a bit like our Valencia, yeah. They've got James Tompkins at the back, who's forming a pretty decent partnership with Reed. But, in fact, actually, going back to Blackett being a shout for England, James Tompkins should be a shout for England. He's a consistent player. Don't give me that face, Mac.
We're not full-time England, Stephen.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. Cole, come on. West Ham, thoughts?
Yeah, watched them against Hull.
That was a laugh.
Yeah, it was.
I hate it when I can't find the remote.
But what was a laugh was when they beat Liverpool 3-1. I thought that was great. They really hit the ground running, and they showed loads of commitment closing down. They was in the faces straight away, straight from the off. And I think that's probably their best tactic against us, especially going for this shaky start. If they get on us straight away, I think we'll struggle.
Okay, right.
I like that
Amalfitano.
What's his name? Sorry, I do know about some of their players. I like that Amalfitano dude.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there.
Got the old Google machine.
I don't think there'll be as much of a threat as at Old Trafford. Obviously, with a smaller pitch at West Ham with their fans behind them as well. They're a different team, but I'm going for 4-0 United.
Okay, Carl.
3-0.
Stephen.
I'm gonna talk a little bit of shit here. Right.
That's
Family show.
nothing
For a
new there.
change.
Right. The problem that we had against Leicester was that Daley Blind got bullied by Nugent. They just stuck him on him, man-marked him, and that prevented us from keeping the ball. Now, they could stick Noble on him and do the exact same job.
Well, don't tell them.
Don't think West Ham watch this channel. I know we're very big, but I don't think they watch it.
Right. Stephen, come on. What's your prediction?
6-1.
Is that's your real prediction?
That's my real prediction.
Okay. Who to?
Get out.
Well, after the 5-3 Leicester, I've got to ask.
I'm going to say 5 goals to Falcao and Rojo popping up at an header.
Okay, thank you, Stephen. I reckon 3-1 to United. Guys, thank you very much. Everybody, please let us know what you think the score will be, who you'd play, who you wouldn't play, what you think about Van Persie, Rooney, Mata. Get it down below. Subscribe to Full Time Devils, share the video and like it because it makes us feel warm and fuzzy inside.